Kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. Jack, we Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Rick flaring, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. The Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness is really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase. Yeah. Bubba C. Yeah. Rick flaring on him. Rick flaring on him. Rick flaring on him. Rick flaring, sun up, baby.
Hey, Roundtable Season 2. Scotty and Blue. Backpack coming through. Let's square it away, ain't nothing like the round table. I pay you if able to find better on cable. They made you appreciate Scotty and Blue. Football media, walking encyclopedia. Scott understand the Blue got the stats handy. Football, the topic around it, they ain't dancing. Stat sheet longer than Clifford Harris's rap sheet. He run a phone, please. See why you playing them that deep. Awkward silence, no need to be quiet. You know you saw the game, we might as well talk about it. Somebody caught a body in front of everybody. Pick six, cornerback out here committing robberies. How much you wanna bet? We could cover the spread. 50 yards in the game, 100 after the catch. Throw it up if you want, I'ma grab it and flex. Season 2, Captain Pettier, still with the mess. You can move how you want, but we gon' move too. Round table with your boys, yeah, Scotty and Blue. Backpack. Poet.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Scotty. Listen, you know what it is, and my boy Blue, and you know what we bring. We bring you the round table. The boy wonder. What's up, Blue?
What's good, man? What's good? Hey, season 2. Hey, week 0 was fun, but now we actually get to talk some like big time games now, man. I'm pumped. I've been amped all week, man.
It's here, man. It's here. But listen, we got to go back to go forward. That's how we got to do. We got to go back. And I want to start with your evaluation of Alabama State, Howard. I've heard you on many of spaces. I heard you on the post game. Just give a quick synopsis of what you felt about the game.
Man, listen, the rain delays, man. I'm still trying to catch up on sleep, man. I mean, we were sitting in the press box, and press box is supposed to be, real professional. No one really shows emotion. You're just supposed to be doing your thing. And when they announced that last rain delay, and it's like 1:00 in the morning, everyone in the press box just went wow. They were like, "You gotta be kidding me! Get them back on the field!" Like everyone was done. Like media just started packing up, man. They were like, "Screw it! I don't even care if the game finishes. We are out of here. Like we are not." And I mean that interview I did with Eddie Robinson, man, that was done at like 2:00 in the morning underneath the stadium.
Hey, it
was the longest day of my life. But listen, man, in terms of the game, I think the biggest thing was D Davis. The stats may not look amazing. He wasn't perfect. The fumble, I think, was the perfect example of him trying to do too much. Just take the sack, get down, because against really good teams, you cannot give them field position like that in crucial moments. So he showed a lot of flashes. He showed some places that he could improve. But the number one thing is, and you know this, you can't teach it. Pocket presence and awareness is something you can't teach. Man, that kid is elite. Yeah, he has like a fifth sense, man. Like they brought up, I think it was a corner blitz, like the slot corner came real hard. And man, he was turned the other way, didn't even look at him, and spun out of it like at the perfect time. I'm like, how did you see that? Like I was in the press box watching it and I didn't see it. I wouldn't have got out of the way. And he just makes plays out of the pocket that a lot of quarterbacks can't make. And so I think as we see him become more comfortable with the offense, Ja'Cory Merritt starts becoming a bigger factor at running back, that offense could be really dangerous. And for Howard, man, it starts with the quarterback play. You have to, it shows you can have a good offensive line. The defense is doing their thing, and just bad quarterback play can cost you games because the defense and the special teams gave them every opportunity to win that game. Block punt, forcing a fumble, early interception, couldn't turn any of those into points. They got a knuckleball, field goal miss from like 30, which should have, that's unacceptable. Then you get down to the red zone twice, you can't convert. For me, it was a game of what is for Howard. The offensive line on the left side, elite. Dankwat, in my opinion, solidified himself as a top 5 offensive lineman in HBCU football. I mean, and he has an argument to be second behind Mark Evans, in my opinion. And that's his potential. From what I saw, the only reason I can't put him above Mark, hasn't done it for that long, and his pass blocking still needs a little, like he struggles with really like those corner blitzes and things. He struggles. He's 6'8", 360. It's hard to get out there to block a corner. Let's just be honest. But his run blocking, you can't touch him. He gets his hands on you. You're going wherever he wants to take you. And Kenny Gallup in the secondary. I was talking to G from Draft HBCU. He gives me Jabril Pepper vibes, where he can play in the box, he can play back, and he's just everywhere. And he wears that number 0. And if you wear number 0, you better be a baller. You can't go out there wearing number 0, sucking on the field. They only give those to that's why Earshot gets to wear his number 2. But Kenny Gallup is legit. I voted for him for MVP for Howard, but I get it. The defensive line played a good game, but it was a story of what ifs. But you got to give Alabama State and Eddie Robinson Jr. credit, man. It's hard to win. What was that game? They were out there for almost 12 hours in uniform. So, man, coaching staffs deserve a lot of credit, man. I give them props for pulling that one out.
Man, it was a great game. And it was a great game because everybody was waiting for football to come back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When you just amped for football, you're like, oh, let's go. For me, Demetrius Davis, when people listen, man, when I used to say Shedeur is slow and slippery, that's the difference. You can see the difference of a guy who's elusive and somebody who's slow and slippery. It's 2 different versions, and Demetrius is just elusive. Like he's a high-level elusive guy. The one thing about it is all that improv is going to come back to bite you sooner or later. You're going to get yourself caught up in some situations you don't want to be in, either a long sack or the fumble situation, when you're trying to do too much in those plays. So going forward, I hope he can kind of rein that in some and do it to where it only needs to happen every now, or the offensive line blocks a lot better for him. Listen, all my finger pointing is at Howard, because literally you got 3 backs that can all get the job done, and somehow, some way, you decided to think Quentin Williams was, Patrick Mahomes or, Lamar Jackson. I don't know who you thought he was, but he was not that. So that really let me down in the situation, because I went through with them and they didn't come out the way I thought. But I think going forward, they should now, it kind of falls back to what FAMU was, right? You come out, you see what you do. Yeah, I thought we were this, we're not that. You know what I'm saying? So going forward, if Howard does not become a run-first team, Larry Scott got to go. I'm sorry, because I think Quentin Williams is very capable. He has great touch. He has a great deep ball. But I think if you can limit him from having to read the whole field and give him a few outs, just, hey, here, hit this, or throw the ball away, I think he can become he can be a high-level guy. But when you put too much on his plate, I don't know if he's ready for that right now. The other week 0 matchup, everybody's talked about it, Blue. Real quick, FAMU and UNC, quick recap.
Hey man, we were watching that because it started during the second rain delay, first rain, one of the rain delays. That game kicked off, so we were watching on my laptop, and we had a whole group of people just sitting around us watching that game. And after the first quarter, I told G, I was like, listen, that's an A+. Take everyone out. The first quarter is all you need to see, and they gave you a little bit extra playing them a little bit later in the game. But if they would have pulled the starters and just conceded after the first quarter, I would have been cool with it. That you saw going down 14-7. I mean, listen, that's all you needed. Musa went out there, looked like he could really play. Terrell Jennings knocking dudes unconscious on the field. I mean, there's nothing else you need to see. They took Gentle Hunt out early, which was smart. D-line was already really thin. You cannot have you couldn't go into this weekend having a chance of Gentle Hunt and Isaiah Lamb being out. That just would not have worked for you. So they did great, man. I think the secondary is the major question mark, but they got some young guys some time, and that's important, because even when Bowler comes back, you got Kendall and you got a lot of these other guys, a lot of experience against a very talented offense. And the one thing I hate, though, and this is a big negative, man, losing 2 offensive linemen for the season.
That's
when
tough.
You already are thin.
That's
man,
tough.
That is. When I saw Caesar go down, I think it was early in the game, he went down. I just was like, man, you got to pull everyone. Just you can't risk this. And then they lost another one. And I think the latest update from Pete Thamel about 20 minutes ago is they're down to 17 ineligible players. They handled some of them, and we'll see if the other 17 can get there. But man, losing those 2 linemen was the only negative. Everything else was positive. And you got to give Willie Simmons credit, because Scotty, this, you've played going into a game with so many distractions, with knowing that no one's giving you a chance. It could have been so easy to go in there and roll over and give up 65 and get
mad easy.
Yeah, door blown off. But for them to go in there and fight like they had a chance to win, man, listen, I'm impressed. And I give Willie Simmons, that coaching staff, all the credit in the world. And that was a win. That was a culture building win for me. For not a win, but a culture building game for FAMU, where that team's close enough to go through any adversity together throughout the season, man. So love it, and I was proud of FAMU this weekend.
Absolutely. Hey, man, you said pretty much everything that needs to be said. I think, for me, I wouldn't have gone out like that. I wouldn't have laid down after the first quarter. That's just me, because halftime was such a momentum shift to me that if you go down by 7, I think your team just has a little bit more just, are we there? Like, we're just that close. Because if you really break down the game in the minutia of the details, Mac Brown did a lot of 4th downs that he normally would not have done against a normal Power 5 team or a normal competitor. So I think those scores on the goal line where he went forward on 4th and you went against the backup DB, like little things like that is like, if they had their full squad, I don't know. So going and listen, man, the way Musa just played through the first 3 quarters, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, literally the game didn't break open until 11 minutes in the 4th quarter. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can see the box score, but if you watch the game, there's no way you can say FAMU gave UNC blow for blow. It literally was like a heavyweight match, blow for blow. And every time you thought they were about to lay down, Musa drove them back down the field. I'm talking about 3rd and 15, 2nd and 12s, big time throws off the back foot. I mean, pressure in face. And you can talk about the vanilla style defense, but listen, you can affect the quarterback 2 ways. One, I'm going to get 4 on you and you make the throw. I'm going to just drop everybody back and you have to find the hole, or I'm going to bring so much pressure, you have to speed it up. All right. And those are the 2 options. They decided to take the latter, and Musa made them pay for it. But absolutely wonderful game going forward, man. I was just too dope. It was just too good. All right, Blue, we got some FCS matchups coming up. Let me get something going here. Hey, but we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we got the FCS matchups coming on. All right.
Get your pickup orders at the same time as your prescriptions at Walgreens.
If you're searching online for high-quality premium cigars, look no further than slowburnwaco.com. Slow Burn is a Black-owned, consistent.
You good?
Dang.
So listen, Blue. Week 1 matchups. We're gonna go 2. We're gonna go 2 form. I want to know possible upsets. The most exciting game, and then possible upsets. I know one of your upsets is not in this picture. All right, I know I saw your tweet. So you, well, I'll be on you, boy wonder. So you can talk about that game as well, but within this as well, what are some matchups or exciting you see in the matchups you're ready to see?
Yeah, I got called out by 247. Josh Pate got on me for that upset. He tagged his friend at some news station. Yeah, that one got some traction. The fact that I predicted that one, but really and truly, man, if I had to pick an upset, looking at these, I would say I just gonna make some people mad. I'd probably say South Carolina State over UCF. Would be my number 1, just because. Listen, I was an Auburn fan. I was an Auburn student. I know how Gus Malzahn is. I would definitely see it. I can see Gus Malzahn choking that one away with a new quarterback. That offensive line has some issues. And listen, Jablonski Green, it is time. It is time to go. It's time to go get something. So, and I know people keep picking Grambling. Well, I don't know what y'all are seeing. There's no way. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. I really don't see it. I mean, the fact, like, the first ever game, you got a new quarterback, a new running back, an entirely new wide receiving core, an entirely new offensive line. The secondary is completely revamped. The only consistent thing is Sundiata Anderson. Man, come on. There ain't no way.
I think, Blue, when it comes to, and when I went back and looked at the game, I was like, man, that South Carolina State game, if Corey Fields could play, listen, if he plays at a high level, and a high level for him is like 60%, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need like 60%, 62, 63, good reads. Kendall Flowers, you know what I'm saying? He runs the ball really well. Shaq Davis becomes a factor in that game. That game, and listen, if you know one thing, Buddy gonna have you prepared. Okay, that's what Buddy gonna have you prepared. So I get that one. But the Grambling State game for me is I really like their running back room, and I think Hugh Jackson is going to run a very, I would say, Art Browse's power spread, like a RPO run, power spread type feel. So I think that game could just be a slow, maybe 24, 21, 30, 27, 30. Like, I think it could be in that kind of realm. And I think Faison Wilson, that boy the truth.
He is. I'll give you that.
That boy the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I think they're going to go with Quintarius Hawkins as the QB for Grambling. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? But the next up, listen, we got a new segment called
I said, go get that bag! Get that bag! There's groceries outside!
Go get that bag! All right, these are players that are going against FBS talent that they need to go get that bag. Say what?
I said, go get that bag! Get that bag! There's groceries outside!
Go get the bag. All right, Blue, your list up first. Who explain to the people who you got going to get that bag.
Listen, man, Kamari Everett, in his locker, someone should stick the Senior Bowl watch list in his locker just to remind him what happened and the lack of respect they put on his name, because he's the best tight end in FCS football, and they didn't put him on the list. They had 3 tight ends, Scotty. Not one of them was Kamari Everett.
You gotta go.
I said, go get that bag.
Go get the bag, Kamari. Come on, who you got next, Blue?
It's time, man. Isaiah Davis, man, against Iowa, South Dakota State running back, man. Listen, coming off an injury, the dude's averaging 8 yards per carry for his career, which is he has as many games played as touchdowns, Scotty. It's crazy. Isaiah Davis is that guy for South Dakota State. He's better than Pierre Strong, in my opinion. It's time to go get that bag against Iowa.
All right, who you got? Jablonski. You brought him up.
Oh, yeah. I spoiled that one. It's time. Listen, you did it in the Celebration Bowl, and it's time to go do it at the next level. Because if you go out there, get 2-3 sacks, and help South Carolina State compete in a really hostile environment in the jump house, man, or the bounce house, whatever it's called, this is some type of house down in Orlando. But Jablonski Green, and you can even put an honorable mention BJ Davis at the linebacker spot.
I was gonna do that. I really was. I was gonna do that. I was gonna do an AM, but I was like, I'm gonna just pick one place.
Hey, both of them. It's time. And listen, Sunday out of Anderson. I listen. I don't think y'all can pull the upset off. But if this new scheme is doing what everyone in all the Grambling people are telling me it can do, I need at least a sack, if not 2 this weekend. That's what I'm looking for. And finally, man, I hate to do this, man. It's my Auburn Tigers. Lance Wise, it's time to prove that he's the best safety in the SoCon, and he's got a great chance against Auburn. Listen, TJ Finley comes in. I'm gonna keep my feelings to myself on that one. And it's time to go up against Tank Bigsby. That wide receiving core is not very strong for Auburn. And if Lance Watts can go out there and put on a big performance, Mercer only lost to Auburn by like 11 last time they played. Lance Wise, it's time to prove that he's one of the top safeties in the FCS. He felt slighted that he wasn't on any All-American list. Well, if that's the case, he's got to go make that money against Auburn this weekend.
And that's Blues. Go get that.
Go get that bag.
Come on, go get that bag. All right, my list coming up next. Hey, listen, Jalen Jones. Sir, you was a 4-star in Florida. You went to Jackson State. Now you're at Bethune. This is your time to.
I said, go get that bag.
You got to show that you that next level, because you got next level speed. We need to see that arm. All right, listen, you already know. Quincy Casey. Hey, UAB, you listen. This is a go get bag, and then go get your respect. Go get your respect, Q. All right. You know, listen, if you have any game like Musa, you about to.
I said, go get that bag.
Come on, man. Shaq Davis, not Shad, Shaq. And his brother from another mother, as my boy BJ Davis as well. Both of you guys need to show up and show up. Listen, Shaq, you did it against JSU. You go out here, you show up and get some of these corners, go make some plays, be big, be 6'5". You need to.
I said, go get that bag.
Get that bag. And last but not least, the Nebraska transfer, the running back everybody wants to see. Go and put in work at Arkansas State. They got a run scheme. I think that's going to be really good. Maurice Washington from Grambling. It's time, young man, to.
I said, go get that bag.
That is our Go Get Yo Bag segment.
I said, go get that bag. Get that bag. There's groceries outside.
Come on, go get that bag. All right, Blue. We're gonna start with the. Let's go. We're gonna backtrack some of these games, guys. But let's go with Howard and Hampton. Let's start off with that.
This is a must-win for Howard, man. Hey, if you go out there 0-2, especially after you gave away that Alabama State game, man, you got to get this one. And this is a must-win for Hampton because, as people like to say, this might be their only win on the schedule. This could be one of their only wins on the schedule. But listen, their first year in the CAA, they have a brutal schedule, man. Everyone that you wouldn't want to play your first year in the CAA, They play them, and then like most of them are on the road. It is brutal, man. If I had to put a pick on it, man, I think I'm a lean Hampton here, man. I think they know if they don't win this game, it is going to be death row in the CAA. So I'm gonna get Hampton in a close one. I think it's gonna be a sloppy game. I'm a lean Hampton.
I agree. I said on the Afterglow show, I'm never picking Howard again. Never. Okay. What's that song by Taylor Swift? We are never, ever, ever getting back together. I'm done. You let the real estate agent come in and do that to you? I'm done. We are never, ever, ever getting back together. Okay, I'm done with Hampton. I mean Howard. Done with him. That Hampton today is the new HU. All right. All blue. I know. Listen, you're gonna be at the game. These are your two favorites. I know you.
Oh yeah.
When the season was coming up, you had these two games circled. The red turf, Stephen F. Austin at Alcorn. Break them down.
Man, I'm gonna hold my prediction on Alcorn Stephen F. Austin. I might not make a prediction. I gotta be at that game. You know, everyone's gonna be so emotional if I don't pick their team because I got connections on both sides on that one. I've been talking to the Stephen F. Austin guys, but man, that game is so important for both teams because you got Alcorn. Listen, they didn't do an updated top 25 after week 0. So if Alcorn wins this game, that's a top 10 win on their resume. And there's people that really and truly would probably put them in their top 25 depending on how they won that game. Now, for Stephen F. Austin, if you lose this game, you just give it up. There ain't no playoffs in your future. Like win because the problem with Stephen F. Austin is, Scotty, is the WAC and ASUN still have a joint auto bid. So they got to beat out Kennesaw State potentially for that auto bid. If you lose to Alcorn and you start out 0-2 with Jacksonville State Alcorn,
right,
it's a wrap. So it's a must win, man. You got to stop Xavier Gibson, and we're gonna find out because listen, Kinsler plays safety. We're gonna find out how good he is because Xavier lines up in the slot a lot. We're gonna find out how good KJ Kinsler is this weekend because last week, even though Stephen F. Austin lost, Xavier Gibson set the all-time record for receiving yards at Stephen F. Austin last week.
Wow.
For career. So already he's a career leader in receiving yards there. Trey Self, I know, is motivated to get back. The question is, can Alcorn run the ball like Jacksonville State? That is the question. But the problem is, I think a lot of people are just making the one-to-one comparison. People forget Jacksonville State has a 5-star on that offensive line. Like, they are big. That offensive line is legit at Jacksonville State, and we know Alcorn lacked a lot of size up front. We're going to find out if the guys they brought in can really replace that. If Alcorn State can run the football, shorten this game up, keep that explosive offense for Stephen F. Austin on the sidelines, they have a great shot. But if Stephen F. Austin jumps out here and jumps out to a big lead, I don't like Alcorn's chances, man, really and truly, because we saw with Stephen F. Austin, the last SWAC team they played was Valley, and it was ugly. We'll just put it like that. Xavier Gibson had Scotty 3 catches for 2 touchdowns and didn't play the second half.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
It was ugly. So I'll give my prediction when I do that preview, man. But for Tennessee State, Eastern Washington, it's a battle of new quarterbacks. Gunnar Talkington takes over for Eric Barrier at Eastern Washington. He's a 5th-year guy. He's set, huh?
A walk-on? You know, like I heard he's a walk-on.
No, Walkington. No, that's his last name is Walkington.
Oh, Walkington. I thought he was a walk-on. Okay, go ahead.
No. So Gunnar, it's like Talkington or Walkington, but like, listen, he's set behind Eric Barrier for like 3 years. So this idea that he doesn't know the offense is not true. That kid can ball, and he was a really talented high school player. And the defense for them, the big thing for me is that defense was so young. Everyone says, oh, they don't play any defense. Well, they just got tired because Eric Barrier would go out there and score in 3 plays, and they'd be back on the field, and it just wore them down. They got 2 guys who were all conference selections in the front 4. They had a guy brought in a 4-star cornerback, man. He's like 6'3" from Washington State, a former 4-star. He is a dog. And they got 2 safeties that I think are really, really good. This is going to be a great test for Draylon Ellis, and he comes in as this QB1. For me, they're going to have to lean on Devon Starling. Devin Starling is going to have a huge game. I think when you look at Draylon Ellis, if you established a run game and he can work off the play action, that offense could be elite with the wide receivers that they have. They got Holloman, the 4-star, Zaire Thornton's an all-conference guy, and we're going to find out that offensive line's revamped because Eastern Washington can get pressure on the quarterback. So I like TSU's chances, man. I picked them back in April to pull this upset off, but EWU does not lose on the red turf often, and it's going to be a tough game for TSU to go up there and win, but I think they have the talent to do it.
Now, I've talked to a couple of people that have seen Draylon Ellis play in high school, and they said he has a very live arm. He's very, he can sling it. What, in your opinion, is Tennessee State wanting to go that route? Score for score, or do they want to slow the game down? As they say, slogger mouth, just up and down, 3 yards in the cloud of dust type style. Where you see Tennessee State trying to go? Because Eastern Washington, that's their style of play. They're the Golden State Warriors of this thing. They'll spread you out. We shooting threes all day. What is Tennessee State looking to do?
They're trying to slow the game down. They would rather play a physical game because that's where Eastern Washington has struggled in the past. When they got into the playoffs and they went up against the North Dakota States, those big physical teams, that Eastern Washington doesn't fare well. When they played Montana last year, that's kind of what Montana did to them. And so I think when you have Starling, you have you have a defensive line with 3 all-conference guys that Terrell Allen transfers in at D tackle. I think you're going to want to try to make it as physical and as slow as the game as possible because we know what Best wants to do at EWU. He's going to want to air it out, and he's going to want to put up a lot of points and a lot of yards. So you're going to have to slow it down. You're already having to go play a tough road game week 1. You're already in their environment, in their house, in their wheelhouse, I would say. You don't want to play their type of game. You want to make it a Tennessee type game. And when you looked at this team last year, even though they brought in some new pieces, they were at their best playing their pace, their type of football. I think that's why I think they try to establish Starling early and they try to make this a physical, low scoring games. I think the higher it goes, the more it plays into the hand of Eastern Washington. If you can keep this under 35 points, if you're TSU, you got a great chance.
I like it. I'm gonna make sure I'm definitely tuned into that game. Now, Alcorn, Stephen F. Austin. I'm gonna make it real simple for you. I'm going with Stephen F. Austin, and this is the reason why is because once again, Alcorn's gonna have to show me something because last year I saw the lack of talent in the trenches. We saw that was their Achilles heel. Now a lot of Alcorn Braves, they're on the. I believe in McNair. I'm not gonna. I believe McNair is a hell of a coach. I think he does. I think he makes shit and to eliminate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really believe that. But at some point in time, I think it's going to hit a ceiling. And I think this is the year for Alcorn where they're going to hit that ceiling. And I don't know where else they're going to go and break through. So I think this is a game that they want to get up for, but I don't know if they're ready for this type of competition. So I'm going to go with Stephen F. Austin in this game. And Tennessee State versus EWU. I love that logo. I really do. That EWU logo is pretty dope.
It's nasty. I know.
That's creative. I really want to believe in Tennessee State because I really believe in the Southern Heritage Classic. That's an ass whooping that Jackson State got coming. I really believe that. So to me, if this game, I'll even take a moral victory in this game just so I know that Southern Heritage Classic is going to be that much more nasty for Tennessee State. So I'm going to take Tennessee State in this game for the upset. I really will. And I don't think, and if I'm being honest, it's either going to be really close or really wide. I feel like it ain't going to be no real in between. So I'm going to take Tennessee State with the upset. I really want to go Eastern Washington. I feel like Eastern Washington is going to win, but I'm going to rock it out with just, I'm kind of in that, kind of on that Howard bandwagon at this point, just like filling it out. You know what I'm saying? Filling it out. Before
one chance, Tennessee State. Go get beat by 30, and Scotty will never feature you on this show ever again.
Hey, but listen, you think I'm playing, you know what I'm saying? But we'll see. All right. Game day preview. Listen, Andrew Buddy preview. What you got, Blue?
Texas Southern. Okay. This is I haven't previewed this game. I got Texas Southern by 20.
Woo!
I think they run away with it.
Come on, Blue.
I'm a believer in the defensive rebuild. I'm a believer in Andrew Body. They have, in my opinion, they got one of the most underrated running back rooms in the SWAC too.
Hey, man,
with Darius Owens and all them.
Woo!
they can run the football. Now, like, let's not forget that as great as Andrew Body is through the air, they can run the football now. And I think when you look at what PV lost, they still got Troy James coming back and so things. I just Jawan Pass to me did so much for that offense last year. And then on top of that, on the defensive side, man, Jason Dumas changed games. Let's just be honest. He changed games. And so I think TSU runs away with this one. I got Texas Southern. Let's see. If I had to put a score on it, I'd say like 38-20 or something like that. 38-17, something like that.
All right. So listen, man, you already know who I'm rocking with. I need a button for it. So this is my thing, right? And it's the PV fans, and they're saying they're like, Scotty, you're sleeping on Conley. And I've been getting, I've been getting text messages from so many people on my text app, and people are like, Scotty, I don't know, like Conley, Conley, or whatever his name is, Trazion, whatever. But listen, he's not Andrew Body. Can I just say that? Can I just say that with you? He's not Andrew Body. He does it, to me personally, from what I've heard from people on PV, is that they're not sold on Bubba. They're not sold on Bubba as the head coach. The offense, I don't know what that's going to look like without Eric Dooley. They still have some of the receivers coming back. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's some stuff there, but I'm going for a straight demolishment. Listen, I think it's 42-17. I think it's 42. Whatever Andrew Body did against UAB, we're taking it and we're bringing it against PV. That's what we're doing. I think Andrew Body says it, because remember, they won this game 10 straight years. They won this game 10 straight. And let me say this. If they lose this game, Clarence McKinley needs to be on the first plane smoking. You got all the leverage. You got a second year coming. You got a whole revamped defense. You got a top 3 quarterback in the SWAC. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of continuity coming back on offense. You were one of the high scoring teams. If you lose this game, McKinley got to go. You can't waste years of Andrew Body. I'm so sorry. Now, if Andrew Body has a bad game, all right, then that's something different.
You gonna have to, he said, I'm gonna copyright my own channel. At that point, just shut it all down. Shut it all down at that point.
If everybody got a bad game, then that's something totally different. But I'm seeing it. I'm seeing a massacre. That's what I'm hoping for and praying for, a straight massacre.
42-17 is tough, man. In a rivalry game, that's wild.
Listen, I think they're gonna quit. I'm sorry. Like, it's because in a rivalry game, let me tell you something about rivalry games, and I've seen them a lot. You know what I'm saying? Cowboys, Redskins, all types of stuff. It's the first quarter. Like, that first quarter, how it goes, if you get up, back, if it's stable, then teams last longer. If it's 0-0, 3-0, all right, cool. But that first quarter is so impactful in how you start the game. But I just think Andrew Body he's proven. You know what I'm saying? He's proven. He knows it. He's a year into this thing. I'm full steam ahead on the Andrew Body, train, and it's 42-17. I'm sticking with it. And if PV, if you win, you have more than right to call in and talk your mess, but you won't, because can't nobody do you like Andrew. Come on now. It's on you, Blue. Aggie Eagle Classic.
Now this one's going to be fun.
Hold on. Oh, let's go to a quick commercial break. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back after the commercial.
Get your pickup orders at the same time as your prescriptions at Walgreens.
If you're searching online for high-quality premium cigars, look no further than slowburnwaco.com. Slow Burn is a black-owned, consistent, customer-centric cigar retailer with dope-ass cigars, featuring boutique brands and a wide variety of well-known brands.
When you order at slowburnwaco.com, Keisha and Rocky Miller will ensure that your cigars are carefully inspected before they are packaged, making sure your order arrives on time and in the best condition. So make your next move your best move and order some sticks at slowburnwaco.com.
All righty. Listen, I saw a comment I did want to address. He had a good point. He was like, "How is Texas Southern gonna hold somebody to 17 points?" Though that's a good point. But
Scotty said, "I'm bumping it up 70-40." He said, "I still want the blowout."
Yeah, I might as well do the FAMU score, 58 to 24, something like that. Yeah, listen, whatever it is, I don't care what it is. How about this? I'll make it easy for y'all. It's a blowout. They'll beat them by 3 touchdowns. They'll beat them by 3 touchdowns. That's what I feel. No less than 2. All right, man. Classic Blues on you.
Man, let's get it. I'm excited for this game, man. I dropped my preview today. This is a game. I made it like a co-FCS game of the week for me with the Orange Blossom Classic, man. And for me with A&T, it's replacing Jermaine Martin and also Baker at the running back spot. Losing your top 2 leading rushers is a tough pill, man, to swallow as an offense. Plus, when you got QB question marks, and I heard Fowler's not starting this weekend, Scotty.
Really?
They're starting the young kid. I'm blanking on his name right now, but I heard right before this show, I already made my preview, so I talk about it. But they said that he's not going to start. They said they might run a 2 QB scheme, but the other kid's starting. So Fowler might have lost his job.
Wow. I heard the freshman was dope though. Like, they were talking about it when we was in the spaces. They were talking about it. Yeager. They saying Yeager. So,
yeah, Jaeger.
So. But I heard he's legit as a freshman, though, for real.
And the comment that says Jermaine Martin is not, he is definitely not there. But we'll let that one ride. And for Central, man, it's the defensive line. They had a bunch of young guys last year that excelled at run defense at times, but they didn't have that guy who could go get the quarterback. And they're going to have to get after a young quarterback in Jaeger and make him feel uncomfortable in the pocket. And last year they struggled with the run. They gave up like 200-something rushing yards, man, and it allowed Fowler to work off the play action, and it just led to a blowout. So that defensive line is going to have to be huge, man, for this Central team. And then the other one for A&T too is I want to see the defense elevate to that elite level. They were really good last year, held Kennesaw to 14 points, really shut down Shepherd in that potent triple option offense, but they weren't consistent. The next week they went out there and gave up 30 to Hampton and got beat like 30-9. So I need to see them be more consistent to take that step. And I think they have the talent, Scotty. If that secondary, all those guys they brought in work, they have a chance to be a top 25 defense in the FCS. And I want to see them this weekend take that step against a really talented offense, man. What are you looking for?
For me, I like what you're talking about, the DBs, especially the one that came from Kansas. I'm really high on him. That, you're a freshman that didn't allow a touchdown your whole freshman year in the Big 12. And that's saying something. That's all they do is throw the ball around, and not giving up a touchdown is huge. So I'm excited to see what he looks like. For me, is this. How do you? I don't know if I don't know if Totten's still there. I think he was a senior.
No, he left. Yeah, he left.
How do you replace Totten? And what does David Richards looks like? Richards or Ricard? I don't know. He's Louisiana Ricard. I don't know. Ricard, Richards, whatever. How does he look going forward? Because we've seen young QBs. They have a great year like Ryan Nettles, and then come back in their sophomore and have that sophomore slump. So I want to see where he takes that next step going forward in the QB realm. And listen, this defense was young last year on the back end with North Central. So I want to see what they look like growing. Covington and Codrington and all them boys out there. And to me, it might be. Listen, Codrington can break this game open in special teams. Don't sleep on the third facet of this game. The same way he did it to Alcorn, he can change field position. He can make it easy. He can go from the 30 to the 50. He can take it to the crib. He is next level when it comes to speed. I'm excited to see this game because North Carolina Central is supposed to take the next level. Beating Aggie, beating NCAT is taking that next level. That is showing you that, hey, we're for real. And listen, even if you do lose this game, you can always bounce back. But this is a statement game. This is a game you want to say, hey, we've arrived. We're ready to take the next step and show that we're really contenders in the MEAC.
Man, I agree. And listen, if you're looking for a replacement for Jermaine Martin, Bashul Tootin is the guy, in my opinion, Scotty. He was a 2-time Big South Freshman of the Week last year, averaged 5 6.8 yards per carry last year, plus had over 300 return yards. He is, in my opinion, he has a chance to be just as explosive as Martin was, back in like the 2019 season. I think he takes the majority of the carries, and also something that I think he does better than Martin is catch out of the backfield. I think getting him in space, man, A&T could be scary if this kid lives up to the hype, man. I really and truly believe that.
The one thing I noticed about when it came to Jermaine Martin, what was tough about it was he didn't really have hips. I don't, like for me, I like a very fluid guy, but anytime like if he hit it straight ahead, oh my God, he's gonna hit his head on something. But it's just the lack of hips. So when you want that, listen, the way college football is played in space, you want that guy who can do a flare route, who can do the wheel routes and catch it in the sides and take it up. Jacob Roberts, talk to me.
Man, the best linebacker in the Big South. No question. It's not a debate. CJ Tillman might be second at Campbell, but listen, man, 146 total tackles, 24 for loss, 9.5 sacks. He's been the guy. 2-time All-Conference. He was the defensive MVP in that 2019 Celebration Bowl too, as a young player. And he's the quarterback, man, of that defense. And he's one of the reasons that this defense has taken such a large step forward. And with that secondary potentially having some question marks, he's the guy in the front seven that can make all the plays. His ability to play sideline to sideline and his ability to do so many different things is something that I don't think you can teach, man. So he's, without question, when I made these slides, he was the first thing I put on there. I knew exactly who it was because he's that guy.
He's that dude. All right, next up for your player watch for North Central.
We've already talked about him, man. Is Davis Richard and Brandon Codrington. And if you kick to Codrington, you deserve whatever you get. just don't kick to him. Listen, I would rather just kick the kickoff out of bounds rather than let him take it, or especially the punt. Like, tell your punter, I don't care what the net yardage is, whatever you want to say, the hang time, kick it to the stands. Yeah, I'll if you give stickers on the back of your helmet. Listen, I want to give you a sticker for every row you kick that ball into the crowd because I don't want him to touch it.
Boy, you stupid. I love it though. Yeah, he's next level, man. That boy got breakaway speed. He has legit 4.3, 4.2 speed. I mean, you see it on camera, and he has the moves to back it up. Now, my thing is, I want to see him take the next step as a DB. That's where I want to see his growth and improvement at. Is can he be that shutdown, lockdown guy for you as a DB? Because he's definitely impactful on the special team aspect, but can he be just as impactful as a defensive back?
Agreed. That's his big thing. And talking to him at MEAC Media Day, I asked him about that. And he said that was his number one thing. He was like, I've done it all as a return specialist. He goes, now I want to see myself as a defensive back. And last year was his first year really being one of the guys in the secondary. The year before, he was mainly just a return specialist. So I think in year 2, you could see him take that step. Man, so before I flip the slide, man, what's your prediction on this one, man?
Listen, man. I'm a big component on. I know people are going to kind of contradict me on this one but I'm a big component of having mind control over somebody, and I think North Carolina A&T has mind control over Debo. They are the little brother, and I'm gonna go North Carolina A&T. I'm gonna go 28-21, 28-24, 28-24 North Carolina A&T.
I like it, man. I had 23-21, man. I think it's gonna be a close game. But, man, 5 in a row now for A&T if they win this game. So it'll be 5 in a row for them. Listen, I think Central is a lot more equipped to compete this year. But, man, I think when talking to Sam Washington, talking to A&T guys, this team's motivated, man. They know what it's going to take to go compete in the FCS playoffs. I don't think they cover the spread. But I got a close game, man. A&T winning 23-21 over Central.
I like it. I got 28-24. You got 23-21. All right, so listen, we were we was 0 for 1. We was 0 for 1 on the.
Hey, I was 5-2 with all my picks last week, so I'm taking my 5-2.
And I'm rolling with it.
I'm taking my 5-2, man. I can't because I was 0-2 on YouTube, but 5-2 on the website. So I'm gonna take my website record until my YouTube one kind of catches back up this year.
Hey, it's all part of the blue brand. All right. Hey, you already know code game of the week. Talk to me.
Jackson State, FAMU, man. I'm so excited for this game. I dropped my preview like 30 minutes before we went live, man. I think the biggest question for me, just of all these storylines here, is really and truly the edge position for me for Jackson State. I know that sounds weird considering all the eligibility things, all the wide receivers, Travis Hunter, but like for me, that defense was so good because of what James Houston and Antoine Owens could do on the defensive line.
Absolutely.
I really don't think, I think when people look back 10 years from now, man, at that Jackson State team last year, they'll really appreciate how dominant James Houston was. He was one of the most dominant players I've ever seen, like in my lifetime, in terms of changing the game as an edge rusher. And I think that's going to be hard to replace. They got a lot of talent, and they have a lot of guys that have the potential to do it, but we haven't seen it on the field yet, if that makes sense. They have all the measurables, they've done it, here or there. So I'm gonna need to see Niles Gaddy. I'm gonna need to see Doyle. I'm gonna need to see Frankie Burgess. I'm gonna need to see some of the young guys that were on the team last year that are stepping up. This team has to have an edge rusher, or even two. And I don't expect someone to go out there and have a year like James Houston. I don't think that's realistic for anyone because of the amount of sacks and tackles for loss. But if they can have two guys, Scotty, combined for like 18 sacks together, have one guy go for 10, another guy go for 9 or something like that, that would make more sense to me. I don't know if they have the guy that changes the game like a Houston. So that for me is something I'm watching for, especially, Scotty, when you flip it, that offensive line is not at full strength. If there's a game for you to establish yourself, this is the one, because they're missing a lot of key pieces on the offensive line. So for me, that edge position is so important to this defense, man, because if they can't get to the quarterback, it's going to put this, I think we're going to find out a lot about the Jackson State secondary if they can't get pressure on Musa.
Let me say this, and this is what I want to before you go to the storylines for FAMU. Watching because I rewatched the whole FAMU game again. And where I saw the biggest struggle for the FAMU O-line was actually in the middle. In the middle was the biggest struggle. UNC has this big white boy. I think his name is Corey, or I don't know, D tackle position. That kid is a load. He was a load for the center and guard position. I think Devontae Davis could be the same issue for FAMU up front, just as talented. Now, I will say that FAMU did a great job as best they could to handle their edge rushing and allowing them not to really get pressure on Musa. Most of the pressure did come up front from the A gaps. So what I'm saying is this. I don't think there's anybody on Jackson State that I would play over anybody at UNC. That's just at the edge position. So for me, what I'm worried about is Devontae Davis up front in the middle. And I think a lot of people don't understand how impactful Quainus Miller and Antoine Owens was to James Houston's production. You could not double James Houston because you literally had two studs at both D tackle positions that could hold it down on their own. So I'll say this. I'm not saying that the guys are not good, right? But I don't think anybody on the JSU line other than Devontae Davis that would play on that UNC front seven. On the front four. That's just my personal opinion. But go ahead. Go into the FAMU.
Yeah, the FAMU one for me, of course, is the eligibility concerns and the injuries like I was talking about earlier. Those two offensive linemen that are out, I got to see it because it's one thing, like I said on my preview, to go into a game and get through it. But it's different to put together back-to-back weeks and then make that a third week and a fourth week. And I want to start seeing how this fatigue starts setting in because even though it's a game, it was a physical game, an important game, and they gave everything they had to compete against UNC. I want to know if there's any sort of hangover for that. And I want to see how deep they are at key positions, secondary, defensive line, offensive line, because they're fine at wide receiver. They're fine at running back. They're fine at quarterback. Linebacker's fine. But key positions that you're going to need to compete at a high level at the FCS and in the SWAC, I don't know if they have the depth there right now until we hear more about who's coming back and who's not. And the secondary for me, it was a little bit what I was talking about earlier is the young guys have to take what they learned last week and apply it. They have to take a step forward. each week as a young guy, you might be young at first, but as you start putting together snaps and reps, you have to keep getting a little bit better every single time you go out there. And I want to see how they handle Jackson State if they start spreading out the secondary. And this is where I think Kendall Bowler and some of those new guys in the secondary have to have big games. And that's my biggest storyline to watch for FAMU's defense.
For me on FAMU, it's the same thing on the defense. For me, it's tackling. Like it was atrocious. And you knew last year with Marquise Bell, Antoine Collier, that they were going to lay you out. It was especially Bell. Bell was going to ring your bell. Collier was going to have a solid tackle. Lovey Jenkins, number one. If they play him at safety, there's going to be a lot of 40 and 50-yard runs because, listen, Jackson State has guys that can take it to the house. I mean, hit their head on the goalpost. You cannot miss tackles. That has to be something that just cannot happen at the level at which it happened in the UNC game. That's a big thing for me. And also, how do you protect against the six-man blitz? I'm going to have a video tomorrow breaking it down on some of the situations that Jackson State will put you in and why they do what they do. But at the end of the day, if you cannot protect the six-man blitz, you're going to have a long day and you're not going to be very successful against Jackson State. So it's protecting your quarterback against the six-man blitz and tackling. And you already know you got to get to number 2. If you don't get to number 2, pretty much the game's over.
Exactly. Listen, tackling is important. And also, I mean, the other storyline up there, we'll touch on it briefly because we've already kind of talked about it, is I just want to see what Jackson State's offense looks like. I don't think there's question marks anywhere outside the offensive line because we know what the wide receiver unit is. I love Savion Wilkerson as a running back, but I just want to know how they use everybody. Because if you like I said in my video, if you ask 15 JSU fans right now who the top 5 wide receivers are, you probably have 15 different answers.
That's real.
And so who has established himself as a top receiver, and on top of that, how do they use Wilkerson and some of those running backs? Because if I'm Wilkerson, man, I know I'm good enough to get touches.
Absolutely.
And so I want to see, do they get him in open space in the passing game? Do they allow him? How often do they run the ball? And I wanted to see the game plan for the new OC and this new offense. Do they try to establish the run early? Do they say, hey, we got a bunch of new running backs, I'm going to put the ball in Shador's hands, and then we'll figure it out from there? I just want to see where they put pressure on FAMU's defense, because we know they're missing Bowler potentially. We know they're missing Land, so they can go one of many different ways. I just want to see what the game plan is like and what the personnel looks like in key situations.
I'll tell you this, and I was talking to a guy who coaches a style of the air raid up in the East Coast, and when we were talking, I told him I think you're going to see a lot of back shoulder fades. You're going to listen, guys. I'm telling you, listen to me. Like I can't speak it enough. You're going to see a lot of back shoulder fades. It's going to be so, if you're a FAMU fan, it's going to be irritating because you're like, bro, like my DB was right there and Shador throws it back shoulder. The DB keeps running. He just turns around with 10, 15-yard gain. That's exactly, you're going to see a lot of that going on in this game. And you're going to see a lot of seams. You're going to see a lot of east and west type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Be very mindful. Listen, with air raid style offense, they are trying to exploit you in a lot of areas. They're trying to stretch you. They're going to go east, west, up high, north and south, to the boundary. They're going to try to stretch you. So FAMU has to show many different looks. They have to be very creative. You can't just do this simple, basic, rush 4, cover 3, rush 4, cover 2. You're going to have to mix some stuff up, go man, go zone. You're going to have to do zone blitzing. It has to be very creative to stop what the air raid style is. And also air raid does put your defense on the field a lot because you can do quick 3 and outs, and here comes your defense back out again. So just be very cognizant. What's your score on the Blue?
I got Jackson State winning this one, man. Listen, and as you know, I always say my heart might be in a different place, but on the show, man, I got to pick with what the stats, analytics, and what the film's telling me. I think this game's close, and I do want to say, I said this on my show, I think FAMU takes the early lead. I think JSU has some rust early, and FAMU goes down there and takes potential 7-0 lead. But I just think down the stretch, man, I think JSU has too much for FAMU, man. I think that fatigue and the lack of depth is going to catch up to them. And in my opinion, that wide receiving core, I think is too much for that secondary for FAMU, especially without BJ, because I heard BJ is probably not going to play, and I just don't love it. If they had BJ and they were fully healthy and Jordan Moore, it could be a different one. I got JSU scoring late, similar to Alabama State did, winning by 10, 31-21, Jackson State.
Call lines open 518-263-8124. And if you're on Blue's side, call lines are open as well. You know, Blue, I want to go back down memory lane because I remember a situation where you pick Jackson State again. And I don't like to bring up the past, but I like to reminisce. I like to reminisce. It was a time or two ago, last year around December, where you said, you felt that the Celebration Bowl, because you just felt that JSU was just a little too much. And you lost that one. So you absolutely did. And I was the only one. I was by myself on an island. And I'm once again on the same island. FAMU 27-21. And I'm not listening. Could I be a loner again? Could I be the only one on the island again? And then
you're gonna be.
And then
you're gonna be.
And everybody else try to swim over later. And then you come back on the show. Oh yeah, I thought. No, you didn't think. Because I got me one. All right, but call lines are open. 518-263-8124. 518-263-8124. Donald, coming to you. Hey, caller, you loud. Talk to me.
Yo, I was gonna tell you my score when y'all did this roundtable.
Yep.
All right, so here we go. So I got JSU winning 24-20. It's gonna be a close game. It's definitely gonna be a close game. It's gonna be won in the fourth quarter for sure. For sure, FAMU not gonna just roll over and just get them that game. I'm just gonna tell you that now.
I mean, if you lose,
but I got
you kind of rolled over. I'm just saying, if you lose. I'm just saying.
Oh man.
I'm just saying.
FAMU not go just say, hey, JSU, y'all got the game. But I got 24-20 JSU. That's just me.
All right. Well, it's not just you. I mean, it's you and Blue, but you know what I'm saying? It's just me over here, you know what I'm saying? But it's all right.
You're not alone, Scotty. I got a poll set up on my channel right now. I'm looking at it on my phone. It has 171 votes. I asked people to predict the winner. Out of 171 voters, Jackson State's winning 77%. They got 77% of those votes. FAMU's got 23% of those votes. So you're not completely alone. There's a few people riding with you. I know Mr. Campbell's one of those votes. He commented. He voted for FAMU early.
Listen, man, I don't know if you ever, I know you're a college guy, but in the NFL, they do like the pundits do the picks and then they like the fan pick. And then like, I'm a lone wolf. Oh, I'll be the lone wolf. I will be the lone wolf. You know what I'm saying? I like to roll by myself, baby. Because, because when I come back, I'm going to celebrate by myself. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
I will celebrate by myself. So, let me see. 0284 coming to you. Hey, caller, you loud. Talk to me.
Hey, what's up? First of all, I appreciate y'all for picking my Aggies to win again, because that's what Aggies do. So Central will continue to be the little brother. That's their role. They're just a little bro. That's what they do in the universe. That's their role. I do have a question. I know you said Texas Southern needs to fire McKinney. If for some reason they don't have a good season, do you put that on the quarterback, or do you put that on the coach, or is it half-half?
I'm blaming McKinley all the way, bro. Listen, I'm sorry. It's like it'll be like an 80-20. It'll be like 80% on McKinley, 20% on Andrew Body, and he need to go. They need to get Kevin Sumlin, and let's turn this thing around. Like, it's just that simple.
And see, I asked. Also, for the Jackson State FAMU game, I think it'll be good. The thing I'm worried about, I agree with the secondary. I mean, even last year they didn't have a problem throwing the ball down the field. I mean, Boulder was getting back shoulder catches at the beginning of the game. So, I think sometimes, they said styles make fights. And, I don't think FAMU's secondary is as big, meaning size-wise, because as you said last year, their receivers play in the air. And even if you 5'9", if you jump and my receiver is 6 foot, the gravity is going to say that. But I'm also worried about FAMU's pass rush also with them not having Isaiah Land. If Shador has Tom back there and they're not able to get a pass rush, it's going to be a long day.
Hold on, time out. Hold on, time out. This is my. Bama's just be Bama just be out here assuming. How are you worried about FAMU's pass rush and everybody on the line for other than Devontae Davis is somebody new? What are you talking about?
No, well, I mean, Isaiah Lamb's the best pass rusher on the field.
But you said
if he's not going to be playing.
That's not what you said. You said I'm worried about FAMU's pass rush. How are you not worried about JSU's pass rush? And they lost 3 of their top sacks guys to the
I mean, well, I was thinking about FAMU. That's why I was talking about FAMU. But when you're missing the best defensive player in FCS, that's going to have an impact.
I don't think he is. So
that's why I said.
I mean, I don't think he was. I thought James Houston was. So I mean, again.
Well, if he was playing, he would definitely be the best one on the field. At least what he showed. So that's what I'm saying. So
do you have
just wanted to see how?
Do you have the same reservations about JSU's defensive line? Yes or no?
Yeah. Because they have to prove something. But also will sit there and they both will have to sit there and prove something. But at least they will have the players to play. Land isn't playing, so you at least can name one person who's going to be able to get a rush. I don't know if you can name anybody on FAM outside of maybe Gentle Hunt. That's going to be he plays D tackle.
Man, bye, bro. Because you're not making any sense. You're not making any sense right now, Dre. Like what? You only can name one person on the line, Devontae Davis. Oh, but you can also it's the same exact. It's literally the Gentle Hunt, Devontae Davis. They're the same players. I like Gentle Hunt just a little bit more, but Devontae Davis plays with a lot more power than Gentle Hunt does. But everybody else, if you take Isaiah Land off of that, everybody else is unknown. Everybody else is. You don't know what Niles Gaddy is. You don't know what Antoine Doyle is. You don't know what Michael Plez is. You don't know what these guys are. Frankie Burgess, you don't know. So people are like, oh, I don't trust FAMU's line. How do you trust? Niles Gaddy played last year and you still couldn't find him. So what are we talking about, man? Like, come on, bro. What the hell? I'm sorry. Go ahead. But if you have anything to say, Blue, go ahead, man.
It's Davy. You're good, man. You can go to the next caller.
Man, you got anybody on your line?
Nah, man, you good.
Jesus freaking Christ. 3307 coming to you. Hey, caller, you live.
So you pick a FAM. So for the record, ain't no excuses Sunday afternoon.
Why would I make an excuse?
All right, I don't want to hear they have all their players. So that's what we're going with, right?
Let me ask you: would you? Because you guys love to make. If anybody making excuses, it's JSU. Oh my God, they had
right. Hey, guess what?
They had 2 weeks to prepare.
We gotta do that.
They had 2 weeks to prepare. Oh my God, we weren't ready. Oh my God, we were in Atlanta partying. You got plenty of excuses. Y'all the queen of excuses. Go ahead.
So if Jackson lose, I call Sunday afternoon and I take my L like a man. But I just want to hear from you. If FAM lose, I don't want to hear nothing about Isaiah Land ain't play, so ain't play. You picking them, knowing the situation. So that's what we rocking with, right?
No, what? if I would have already given them excuses, I would have picked JSU because it's overwhelmingly in there. I don't want to say overwhelmingly. When you have issues on that type of side of the ball, eligibility, you don't know who's playing. Well, that kind of leans you in. Right. That kind of leans you into the next team because you're like, you don't have your full weapons, so I'm gonna just naturally pick the other team. I'm still picking FAMU based off the scenario, so I don't have an excuse.
Are you standing on that?
Unlike JSU fans, yes. You don't. Are you not comprehending? I wouldn't have picked FAMU.
Dude, I just told you. I
wouldn't pick FAMU. That's a dumb question. I wouldn't have picked FAMU if I knew I had excuses in the bag. That doesn't make any sense.
Say less. All right, say less. So, you were talking about the defensive line of Jackson. Guess what? We didn't know, and you misinterpreted. Devontae Davis and Gaddis had more sacks than Cornish Smith last year. The thing about Cornish, to me, where Cornish is going to be missed is his run presence, his run stopping ability. That's where Cornish is going to be missed, not his sacking ability. But Gaddy and Devontae Davis had better sacks than he did last year.
Okay, Ryan. Ryan.
Okay, and at the same time, we didn't know what James Houston was going to be last year. We didn't know what none of these guys was going to be last year. And Antoine Owens, we didn't know he was all of these dudes were new for Jackson State last year. We didn't know what none of them were going to be last year. So I have confidence in Deion picking these guys out the transfer portal to contribute to Jackson State defense. You don't, but I do.
Congratulations.
I'll say that. And before you kick me off, you asked my boy Mike earlier that you were like, what if Travis Hunter don't play? What's I gonna say? Well, let me flip it on you. What about Zay Land don't play?
I already said I don't care. Like, see, that's the difference.
Okay.
That's the difference. That's the difference. No. That's the difference. I'm not already having excuses in the bag. I know what the situation is. You Bamas are going to be like, oh my God, see, they got lucky. Travis Hunter didn't play. I bet if Travis Hunter would have played, we would have been, he would have scored. Y'all would have been like Kobe. He would have put up 80.
Dude,
he would have scored 6 touchdowns by himself.
I'm standing on Jackson State.
Okay.
Win, lose, or draw. I'm going to stand on that, and I'm going to call Sunday evening. Win, lose, or draw. Ain't no excuses. I told you that.
Okay.
I just want you to stand. I just want you to stand on the same thing.
Sir, I have to. Everything I say is on wax. Congratulations. Like, what are y'all talking about? Everything I say is on wax. What the hell are you guys? Listen, man, don't call my line on some stupid shit. Right? That stuff is stupid. Oh my God, stand on it. I got to. You're watching me. It's over 450. How can I not stand on it? What are y'all talking about? Shut up. Man. That stuff be killing me, man. 2622. Hey, caller, you loud, talk to me.
What's up, Scotty?
What's up? Talk to me.
This side. Bro, why you sound so bad over there, though?
Because you're saying stupid stuff. That's it. Like, you're not making rational points. Scotty, you going to stand on that? How? I'm already picking them. That's me standing on the player I'm picking or the team that I'm picking on. That doesn't make any sense. I'm a Cowboys fan, right? If we going against Tampa Bay and I know we don't have Tyron Smith, do you think I'm going to pick them to win the game? I'm like, yo, our best O-lineman is gone. We don't have Michael Gallup. You think I'm going to pick them to win? That don't make sense. I like to be right. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay beating the Dallas Cowboys. That's a smart pick. That's not me making excuses for my team. If I'm picking my team and then I'm going to say, well, we would have won if we had a Tyron Smith, then I never had trust in them in the first place to win. But y'all Bamas are so dumb. Y'all calling here talking about Scotty, are you going to stand on that? I already picked the team. That's me standing on it. You just so used to Jackson State people making excuses after you lose.
We don't lose that often, so we don't make them any excuses. But
are you sure about that? For the past 10 years, you ain't won shit. Are you sure about you're more used to losing than you are to winning? So are we sure about that?
Not really, but
okay. Continue.
Why do you think FAMU will win?
I think the reason I picked FAMU to win is because I think that if you add Musa and you add the play calling with Willie Simmons, I think they'll be more effective. Listen, hold on. You asked me a question. Hold on. This is my thing. I am scared. I am scared because I've always said Willie Simmons doesn't show up in big games. That's the only thing that frightens me when it comes to picking FAMU. But I do think that having the quarterback and the style that which he likes to play, I think that helps the offense. But go ahead.
And my thing is, you've only seen Musa in one game against a simple defensive scheme. You think he could do that same thing against an actual?
Sir, y'all said the same dumb shit with Shador. You were getting mad at people for not putting him in the top 5 coming in as a freshman. Yo, listen, man. Y'all Bamas love to forget stuff. Y'all Bamas love to forget stuff. Oh my God, Scotty, why isn't Shador in the top 5? He ain't done shit. He didn't do anything. So how is it? I'm asking a question. How is it not fair for another fan base to feel to actually see a player play and then think, oh, he's going to be successful? Then for y'all Bamas to not even see Shador play and thought he was going to be a top 5 quarterback.
I mean, it's fair. He looked good, but I'm just trying to make it make sense, you know?
I'm trying to make it make sense. That's why I'm asking you a question. How is it that?
He looked good. And like you said we made Shador like he was God, right? Before he even played. And you was the one that was down there, right? So
what? Listen, sir. Whoa. All I said was let him prove it. I said he hadn't done anything. I said let him prove it. And then when he proves it, I'll be like, oh yeah, Shador's the truth. So when Shador proved it, I was like, oh shit, Shador's the truth. That's what I said. I've said that. So what are we talking about?
I understand that. I know that. But you drinking the Musa Kool-Aid so much after one game, though, right?
How am I drinking the Musa Kool-Aid just because I picked FAMU to win? I'm drinking a Kool-Aid because I think he's a comparable. Because I think
they're gonna beat us listen. Every time you say you're gonna beat us, you say because of Musa.
Because you have to have a quarterback. Dog, y'all niggas is dumb. Y'all really about to make me flip out right now. Y'all niggas is dumb. You have to have a quarterback to run your scheme. That's why the games come down to, do you have a quarterback or not? But when you find a quarterback who can run your scheme, how does that not put you in a position to win the game? I don't understand what you guys are saying right now.
Okay, I'm gonna give my score and then you can move on.
Continue.
I got JSU 38-10.
All right, appreciate the call. Like, Blue, am I speaking Japanese or something? Whoa.
I don't know, man. I've like blacked out for like the past like 10 minutes, man. It's been next caller. We got to get a football question in here.
Oh, like, hold on, man. Like, it's really crazy to me. Like, y'all Bamas is really tripping right now. Like, think about it. Musa played against an FBS team and was very successful in moving his team down the field in the scheme in which Willie wants to play. How can you not be like, oh, I think we have something here. Oh, I think he's going to be successful. Or I think he can do something. When last year, Shador didn't throw a pass and you guys were already talking about he was one of the best quarterbacks in the SWAC. I'm confused. I'm talking off a game that he actually played. What are we talking about right now? 1112 coming to you. Hey, caller, you allowed to talk to me.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up? Is this Willie? Is this Marquise?
Yeah. Nah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Okay. I wanted to pick back up what the previous caller was talking about, James Houston. When he said about James Houston, because I noticed you keep on saying we don't have a James Houston on the team, but let's just be transparent here. Like, let's be real. How much footage you seen of James Houston at Florida? You didn't see any film on James Houston when he was at Florida. He was pretty much on the scout team. So for you to say we don't have a James Houston on this team, and Coach Prime, the head coach, he literally said this out his mouth. He said we got like 2 or 3 James Houston this year. So for you never to see any film on James Houston at the University of Florida and to say, we don't have a James Houston on this team, Coach Prime said we got. I'm believe what the head man in charge said. If he say we got 2 or 3 James Houston on this team, that's what we got, and you better believe it. We gonna bring the pressure first down, second down, third down, and if them fools want to go for it on fourth down, we gonna bring the pressure on fourth down. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I also want to get my prediction: JSU 35, FAMU 14, and take that to the bank.
All right. Scotty, you're good. I got you. So over his let's see, hang on. 3 years at Florida that the first year he was suspended, 2017 he couldn't play because he was suspended. 2018 he appeared in all 13 games. 2019 he appeared in all 13 games. And 2020 he appeared in 9 of the 13 games. So in total, he appeared in almost 40 games over 3 years at Florida. So he had plenty of highlights. Well, it's this next caller.
Guys, he didn't even play DN at Florida. Like, you're not. People just be out here.
Scotty, hang on. So hang on, Scotty, hang on. Time out. Because listen, this is ridiculous. Stop it. In 3 years, Scotty, James Houston had 103 tackles, 11.5 for loss, and 4.5 sacks, and 4 forced fumbles and a block kick at Florida. Trash. He must be trash, bro. 100 tackles in the SEC, garbage, bro. Kick him out the league.
They don't mean anything. 1027 coming to you. Hey, caller, you loud. Talk to me.
How you doing, Scotty? How you doing, Blue? You guys have had a wild call show today. I just want to play a game of higher or lower. Terrell Jennings, I see he only got 10 carries. I mean, I'm guessing that was to keep him healthy, keep him fresh. Do you think he will have higher or lower than 100 yards in this game against Jackson State?
Great question.
Ooh.
Great question. Ooh. Higher. I got to go higher. I think you got to stay.
Yeah,
balanced.
I
think you got to stay balanced when you're messing with Jackson State. You got to stay balanced as best you can. So I'm gonna go higher. I think like 12 to 15. I think 12 to 15 is actually pretty good. What you got, Blue?
Now I have lower just because I think they're still gonna rotate through the 3 running backs. I think Jennings will get some carries, McLeod will get some carries, and then the kid from Pitt will get some carries. I just don't know if anyone's going to be featured enough to hit 100. I can see him getting somewhere in the 80 mark, but I think they're going to rotate running backs to keep fresh bodies in due to the depth. So I just don't see him getting enough, I would say, carries or opportunities to hit 100 unless he breaks one, like one of those 60, 70-yard touchdowns. But I just think because FAMU is going to rotate so many running backs, I personally think he doesn't hit 100.
No, he said 10 or higher. He said 10 or higher carries.
Oh, he'll get more than 10
carries.
No,
I was talking about 100 yards.
Oh,
yeah. He said last week he got 10, but the prediction was yards.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
No, lower. Oh, yeah, you're not going over 100.
Yeah, I can't see him hitting 100.
I thought you were talking about carries. I thought you was like he's going to get 12 to 15 carries. I was like, yeah, I can see him getting 12 to 15 carries, but
okay,
over
Musa 250 yards, higher or lower?
Ooh, higher.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, you got to lean on him. He showed you what to do. You got to lean on him.
Can I take like a push? I think he'll be right at 250. No, I do. Like, I think he'll be somewhere in higher or lower. You can give me I think anywhere from 240 to like 255 is about right where he'll be. I think that's like right on the money about where he'll be.
I thought it would be like 260-ish. That's why I didn't think it, because when people say higher, you think 300. I think he'll be 260, 270. That's where I think he'll be at.
All right, I got one more, and then I got a question for Blue, and then I get out to here. Jackson State offense, higher or lower? 2 turnovers. New offensive scheme. New wide receivers. I'm going higher. I'm going
to go push.
And then
I'm going to go push.
Fumble.
I'm going to go push on that one. I'm
ironic.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm still blues. I'm gonna go push on that one. I think 2 is it'll either be 1 or 2. I don't think they're gonna go anything over 2. What you got, Blue?
Yeah, man. 3 would be I mean, that'd be like lose game type turnovers if you have 3 turnovers. So I go lower. I think they're gonna have 1. And for me, what's it gonna be though? I'll go fumble. I do. I don't think Shador is going to put. I don't think they're going to put Shador in situations to really risk it. And if BJ Bowler's out, I don't give that secondary a lot of chance to get a pick. So I think it's going to be fumble. I think Isaiah Major or someone catches someone, or if they can get a strip sack and do something like South Carolina State, that'd be huge for the game. So I got 1 for the game. So I would say lower than 2 because
for turning the ball over on special teams last year. They did that.
That's true.
Almost like 3 times during the season. It made me mad so many times. But can you quickly break down Campbell versus Citadel? I know Citadel was underwhelming last year, but they won a couple shootouts. And, Campbell's coming for his homecoming. So I really want to know what to look out for a team that could really come in and maybe give Jackson State some problems. Thank you guys and have a great night.
Hey, appreciate the questions, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. And if you're still listening, man, I will have a full breakdown tomorrow. I got an article coming out predicting the biggest Thursday games in the FCS. But just off the top of my head right now, the biggest thing is the Citadel has a new quarterback. Jalen Adams transferred to Norfolk. He lost that QB battle. They named the forgot where the kid transferred from. They named the other transfer quarterback the starter from the Group of 5 FBS, and it's going to be a new quarterback for the Citadel. Their number 1 running back or fullback, whatever you want to call the positions in the triple option offense. I know they have like it's like a wing T offense, but one of their top running backs, who was an all-conference player, potentially is out with injury due to a serious injury he suffered late in the season. For me, I like Campbell's chances here because if you're going to beat the triple option, you have to be strong in the front 7. Brevin Allen comes back at the defensive end spot. They have a 3-star guy coming in at D tackle to replace a big contributor. Tillman at linebacker is huge. I personally think Campbell gets out with the win, but with the Citadel, man, it's always low scoring. I have Campbell winning a close, low scoring game somewhere in the high teens, low 20s in that game.
Blue, the boy wonder. All right, let's go. Mike Reed, coming to you. What's up, Mike? Talk to me.
Scotty, what's going on?
What's good?
JSU family, I love it. Don't let up on Scotty. Let's go. Yes. And Blue. Thank you, Blue. See, I like Blue. I knew it was a reason I like Blue because Blue thinks about the game. He looks at the X's and O's. He thinks about it methodically. Because everything Scotty's saying is out of hate. Hate. But Blue, I appreciate you, Blue. And I told Scotty the same thing you said earlier. We cannot replace James Houston. James Houston is an anomaly. We cannot replace him. But if you get a couple guys that replace his production by committee, we'll be okay. So I like you, Blue. Now, Scotty, stop that. Hey, JSU, keep calling Scotty. We got him frustrated tonight. Keep calling. Let's go. That's all.
Bye.
All right, man. Let me get to this comment before the next caller, man. So Valley and Tarleton, man, that is a game I am extremely excited for. That one's going to be one we do on our website, probably, man. But just to kind of give you the breakdown right now, this is a must-win for Valley, in my opinion. I know that sounds crazy. This is a must-win because if I get it, they were emotional that they were voted last in the division. But when you come out there in the interview and say, I guarantee we're not finishing last and we guarantee this new quarterback and et cetera, and like you're talking like, listen, that was disrespectful. I want you to show me why it was disrespectful. And you need to go out there and compete and win this game. So Tarleton, new quarterback coming in. Stephen Duncan decided to retire from football due to he got a great job offer. I talked to him, I know him personally. He couldn't turn that down. I understand why he retired, but they got a new quarterback. They have a completely revamped wide receiving core. The one question is the defense is really loaded for Tarleton. And so I want to see if Valley can put points up. We're going to find everything we need to know about the quarterback battle. But this is a game that Valley should be able to compete in and not get blown off the field. And if they do, Scotty, insert them 6 in the SWAC.
That's nice.
The SWAC East.
That's nice. That's nice. I'm excited. 1818 coming to you. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
What's up with it, man?
What's good? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Christian, Baton Rouge, man.
Talk to me.
Hey, I'm calling in for the Jackson State fans. It's just delusional. I played at Grambling from 2014 to 2017, and I know what it feels like to win the Celebration Bowl. The great North Carolina A&T teams, we played against North Carolina Central when they was 9-2. Jackson State played the worst team to come out the MEAC in the Celebration Bowl and got beat by 21 points. I just don't understand how they think they legit would have lost like this.
I mean, they'll tell you that's last year. I'll even tell you that's kind of last year. But if we was talking about it last year, I would totally agree with you. But if you got anything on this upcoming season, listen, I'm all for it.
Nothing on this upcoming season. I just wanted to call in and say that I just don't understand how they think this team that they have is so good, or they think that they can contend for years to come when they just played outside of the conference and got beat by 21 to one of the worst teams to make it to the championship in the MEAC. But I got FAMU winning by 14.
Okay. Hey, appreciate the call. Hey, he said, check my rings. He said, I won a celebration bowl. Check my rings. Let me go 7981. Hey, caller, you loud, talk to me.
What up, Scotty? What up, Blue? It is me. It is Sean in the place to be. Real quick. I can't let you get away with that stat line, Blue. He averaged 28 tackles in 2018, James Houston. Played in 13 games. That's trash. He played
So you just took 1 year?
2019, 38 tackles. Trash. In 2020, he had 37 tackles, which was good because he only played in 9, and that was better than the other 2 years. Now, he had 4 forced fumbles, 2 in his first year where he had 28 tackles, and then 1 and 1 in the other 2 years.
Yeah.
And then his sacks, he only had 4.5 sacks over the 35 games that he participated in. And he blew his numbers out the water when he did transfer to JSU. So that's what I was basically saying as far as who actually is James Houston. Yeah, he got footage, and yeah, he was at Florida playing in the SEC, but he wasn't as acclimated in the game as everybody thinks because of the stat lines. Like, that was part of his frustration. He knew that he could do more. He had some things to slow him down, all of that stuff. He just never really got into that rotation the way that he should have been to be a dominant force. But we know what kind of player he is and what he ended up being, so I know why we compare him. So that's the only reason that I said like it was trash, is because when you break down what he did each year, it really wasn't as productive as it would seem. You think for some people, you think 35 games and only 103 tackles, you do the math on that, it's not really a lot of tackles per year that he actually played. But he was a bona fide, and this is why I said the injury, we got to bring that in. He was a bona fide player coming out of high school, and I think he got injured in high school, and then later on in that 2020 season, he missed some games. So, I'm with y'all. There's no James Houston for JSU. What he did was phenomenal. But we got to put it in the context. He got a chance to change positions and blossom. And that's what ended up happening. And we got to see if that happens again, if they're able to replicate that. But, man, listen, I got JSU. No, you doing the call-in show, Scotty, for the $50 on this game? Because this is the money game right here. This is prime time.
I will be at the OBC, so it'll depend on how. If I do it, it'll probably be on Saturday.
Well, then I ain't telling nobody nothing till I know Saturday.
No problem. I'll keep y'all up to date. But I think as of right now, I don't think I'm gonna do it on the day of the game. I'll probably have to do it day before the game. So yeah, I'll do the money giveaway on probably on Saturday.
Now, hang on. Hang on. Let me get back at you, man. Hang on.
Hold on.
About the game.
Sean. Blue wants to.
Hang on. I got a rebuttal to this, man. Because
you want a rebuttal? Go ahead, rebuttal.
Oh, yeah. Because I mean, we got to take everything in context. I mean, those stats were put up behind a guy who is playing in the NFL right now, which is what happens at SEC schools. So yeah, I think his talent was definitely there. It's just, man, there's 5 stars on the bench at Bama that could probably ball out. They just got to wait their turn. And then he was also had to overcome the fact that he lost the coaching staff's trust early by being suspended for the entire season as a true freshman. So as a freshman coming in as a reserve, as a guy who's getting in on certain plays, to put up those stats was pretty impressive. And he was doing it not as a full-time guy, and he was doing it at a different position that really and truly, I don't think he fits a much better at where JSU put him. And that's on JSU's coaching staff for making the right call. And we saw how Houston fought it because he didn't believe them and didn't put faith in them early. So for me, I'm not saying he was an all SEC player, but to say he was trash, just like that's what it was getting me. That's not trash. He was a decent SEC player, which is better than like 85% of the people who have ever put on a uniform in football. He was a decent player, but to say he was trash is just not true.
No. I'm not calling him trash. I'm saying the numbers. The numbers was trash. I ain't talking about him individually. You know what I'm saying? I'm sticking to that.
That's like saying, you're saying Kwame Brown's numbers are trash, but Kwame Brown isn't trash. I mean, he put up the numbers, so I'm confused. Like you can't have it both.
No, Kwame Brown was trash. the person, he was trash. Forget his numbers.
I see. What's hard for me to say is that if you were recruiting James Houston, right, and you were like, let's say he was in the portal and you were another SEC school, based off your logic, you wouldn't have came and got him because based off his numbers, you thought he was trash.
I wouldn't have went for him. I would have found somebody else.
Okay. I mean, listen, that's your opinion, but hey, what's your last question, Sean, before I let you go?
All right, so Austin P and who did Austin P play this week?
I don't know, Blue.
Anyway, I'm skipping. I'm going ahead real quick. This is ahead. I know it's this week, but I got to go ahead. Austin P, do you really think that Austin P after the Jacksonville State game is better than what they showed at Jacksonville?
Okay, so
they play Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I was definitely I knew what you meant, but yes, Austin P to me was probably the most surprising team of week 0 in my opinion. And it was mainly because they lose their top 3 secondary pieces. They have a new starting quarterback. They bring in Josh Samuel, who's a proven running back. So I didn't have a lot of questions there. And they had to rebuild that defensive line. Remember, Terrell Allen went to Tennessee State. They lost a few other people. And to go up against, listen, I know Bailey's Zappi or whatever his name was great. And now he's at the Patriots. But that offense was the number 1 offense in the entire FBS last year and was the number 2 scoring offense. And for that defense to go out there and force turnovers and hang with that team at the line of scrimmage and that quarterback to look that good and Dre McCray at wide receiver to go make the plays he did, in my opinion, I think Austin P right now is a better team than Alabama A&M. And I didn't think that a week ago.
Okay. That's it, man. That's all I got. Thanks.
Hey, appreciate the call, Sean.
All right, y'all.
Oh man, these call lines. All right, we're gonna take 3 more callers because listen, man, I haven't ate all day. I'm starving. For real. Let me go. Somebody I haven't seen before. Let me see. 1112. Hey, caller, you like?
Yes, sir. I have a 3-part question for Blue.
What's your name? Where you come from?
From Mississippi.
What's your name?
Tony.
Is it really? You sound like the dude from Willie. Like Willie. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Blue, this for you. This about Grambling and the Arkansas State game this weekend. Do you think Grambling have a realistic shot of getting the upset? And also, what is your final prediction of the game? And where do you have Grambling finishing in the West Division?
Hey, appreciate the call.
Oh man. No. Okay. I know Arkansas State is not good, but man, to go out there first ever game as a head coach at a school with so many new pieces coming in, man, it is so hard to say you're going to pull off the upset on the road against the FBS squad with 20 something more scholarships. So no, I don't think so. If this was year 3 of Hugh Jackson, or it was week 3 of this year and they look good, the first 2 weeks I'll give them a chance. But for me, I can't give them that chance right now. I apologize, but I can't give it to them. If I had to put a prediction on it, I would say it'd probably be something like 38-20 or something like that. I think it could be close, but I just don't expect them to win. And where I have Grambling finishing in the West, I said it the other week, I got them 4th. I think they finished behind Alcorn. I think they finished behind Texas Southern. I think they finished behind Southern. And that's where I would put them right now.
That's what's up. Let me see. I'm gonna go 8-5, 8-9. Hey, caller, you allowed to talk to me.
Hey, what's going on? This is Baptiste from Southern University alumni.
What's good, man?
Jaguar Nation. Shout out. I got two things. I know y'all good investigative reporters, so I got a question. Where is the swag coaches call for this week? I haven't seen it. If y'all could,
They didn't have one.
What if they're not doing one?
No, it starts next week. I got the email from Andrew Roberts this week. The first one will be, I think, Monday.
Okay, perfect. I didn't see it, so I was wondering what was going on. And then my last thing is just I got JSU winning, so I'm rolling with blue. I think JSU gonna win by at least 10. Got it.
All righty, man. Appreciate the call. Last caller, 2622. Hey, caller, you allowed to talk to me.
What's up, Scotty?
What's your name? Where you calling from?
Sean from Jackson.
Didn't you
I got a
already
question.
call
Do you
in?
think? Yeah, I had some more questions.
Man, bye.
We'll take another one after that.
Yeah. I hung up on him. Hey, caller, you allowed to talk to me.
Gentlemen, this is Gabriel from Memphis. How y'all doing tonight?
What's up, G?
Good.
All right. Okay. So I guess first off, speaking of James Houston, he got cut by Detroit.
He got signed up.
The Dallas Cowboys, as you know, they picked up Marquise Bell, who made the 53. And I guess I was kind of disappointed that James didn't make it, but I'm glad that
he's on the practice squad.
At least we got a swag player in there. But that being said, I'm gonna make my prediction and get on off of here. Jackson State 35, FAMU 21. I'm
right. Appreciate it, G.
The Lions picked him up on the practice squad, by the way. That's what I was trying to get out there. He got signed again.
I saw that it was too. And Jatari, he made the active roster.
Yep.
Kobe did. Josh
Deshaun Dixon.
Hey, that one.
He's a dog.
Man.
He's a dog, man. I love him. I love that game. I love his game, man. At the Legacy Bowl, he's a player I've seen in person that I said he is special. Just looking at him, man.
Man, that dude. I mean, his build is just incredible. Like, no homo. His build is incredible. He's like an NFL prototype DN. Listen, man, I'm gonna say this before I get up out of here. Y'all don't want FAMU to win. That's all. Listen. Do not come on my show. I'm telling you right now, because all you Bammers that were on here acting a fool, I'm telling you right now, you do not want FAMU to win. If JSU win, I'll come on here, take my crow, eat it, keep it pushing. But what I'm telling you right now, you do not want FAMU to come out on the other side, because I promise the guy you don't want to see how much I'm gonna act a fool on y'all Bammers. For real, especially if it's ugly. All right, you got anything, Blue?
Yeah, man. Y'all can catch the previews. You got the Aggie Eagle Classic preview out, man. The Jackson State FAMU full preview is out, man. Tomorrow we got Alcorn State, Stephen F. Austin. Website, we're dropping the Thursday complete FCS preview. I'm trying to think if there's any other games, man. I'm sure there'll be more games. And also, we got a sponsor, man. Wanted to make the announcement on here. It's a test run. Listen, man, for the next 3 weeks, DraftKings is going to be running test runs on the podcast, man. Listen, we're gonna have our own promo code, everything for DraftKings. So listen, if you like sports betting, wait till next Monday. I gotta drop it on a Monday episode. Use the promo code I drop on that episode, man. Go sign up for DraftKings, run the views up on the video, man, and hopefully we can have the Blue Bloods sponsored officially by DraftKings, man. But other than that, check out the website. Look for predictions on the YouTube channel, man. Anything else, y'all know where y'all can find me, man.
Hey, too easy, man. Keep doing your thing, Blue. Hey, listen, until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.